So what I'm looking for is I want to see, I've got a KPL near 68.30.50 right where we're testing. If buyers continue to step in, I'll look for a reversal back up to 68.44 to 68.46, see if we can take out some stops from earlier.
Order filled.
So we're going to go ahead and cover one of the most common questions I get in all of my content, and that is, what are KPLs? What does that stand for? So KPLs right here is a key pivot level. So I have coined this term because I feel like a lot of traders don't realize that many of the different strategies in the trading world can all be found to be pretty similar if you think of the basis of them. A lot of times people are using things like, let's say, a prior day high and low for a pivot point, aka a reversal trade, supply and demand zones, FEGs, ICT concepts, even support and resistance. These are all places that traders usually look for pivots, aka reversals. And so I group them all together. All traders use pivot points and KPLs in different ways based on whatever trading strategy they have adopted or relate best to. So you're basically looking for areas where price is likely to reverse. Now, my KPLs are something that I've spent years and years perfecting and developing. I do a mixture. Sometimes I do include some of these concepts, but that is not the main place or the main reason that I am coining my KPLs. There is a different method that I personally use that works extremely well when paired with my trading strategy. And to show you guys an example from this live trade you are about to view, and basically my trading plan, I just know I'm gonna get a lot of questions, so I wanted to dig a little bit deeper before we continue. First, let's look at this trade alert that I posted at 9:47 a.m. So you can see that I was watching for short entries to KPL. So basically what I was looking for this morning first coming in was I was seeing we had some selling pressure here. I was waiting for prime time. We eventually got some manipulation and then a nice move down into my KPL. So I was basically looking to trade the short to these KPLs to see how we reacted when we reached them. Now for me, once we reached these KPLs, which I took a short, you can see here, this is what happened. So we got manipulation here, and then we eventually came back down to test the KPLs. And do you see these reactions right here? These KPLs worked phenomenal as pivot points today trading, because look at this reaction that we saw here, very bullish reaction, and here. And I had these levels pre-planned before price ever got down to them, and that's really, really key. So my KPLs, again, were near 68.33 to 68.30 range. And so I just wanted to throw this in here and make sure that I clarified on what KPLs are and ultimately what that stands for, because I always get a ton of questions on that. So that being said, let's dive back into the live trade so you guys can see how I traded this range right here. Like I said, took it short earlier in the day. I will put a little screen recording over just so you guys can see that short trade that I took from here to the KPLs. And then eventually I was looking to flip long once I saw that bullish reaction off of my KPLs. And that is the live trade that you guys are going to be viewing in this video. So when I'm taking entries, I like to get them as close to my KPLs as possible, especially if the time of day aligns, which it definitely is my prime time to look for reversals right now into lunch. And we are wicking off nicely, so I'm just gonna go ahead and try it. And risk is very small, so $300 with a potential reward of over 18. I got a visitor. Where are you at?
Wait, are we live?
We're not live, I'm taking a trade. You said, are we live?
Does it work?
We'll see.
I come back from taking
Nope.
entry out for a little while. Fridge is pulled out, circuit breakers are off. What are you doing? Yeah, we'll leave you alone.
Okay. Mwah. There you go. All right, so one more time, it's looking nice. The reason I was looking to enter long, KPL near this level, we were seeing a bullish reaction. So I'm looking to take it back long into where we had heavy selling pressure this morning. It created a very nice move down, which potentially left some prior sell orders. And so I usually like to look for scalps back to that area if we haven't revisited it. And we have not yet. So I'm looking for a push back up into this range. And then if we do see sellers present, I will flip back short. But overall, that's why I'm looking to scalp it long as we hold my KPL, which so far we have. That's one thing I really want to encourage you guys to try and do, and it does take a lot of time and practice. I've been doing this for 9 years, so it is easier as the years go on, but I will always consider both sides of the trade when I'm looking to enter it. So I am thinking like a bullish trader as well as a bearish trader, regardless of which side I'm entering, So in this case, I'm thinking in my head, the larger point of view sellers, aka bears, are probably wanting a better entry, so they would be okay with pushing it back up in this area. I'm also thinking in terms of just basic supply and demand. We had heavy selling pressure this morning, manipulation right in this area, and so it'd be likely that the sellers would want to revisit this area and then look to re-enter larger point of view shorts if we continue to see heavy selling pressure. Now, from the bullish point of view, we are seeing buyers step in. We are at the perfect time of day for a potential reversal. So both sides of this trade, bullish and bearish, in my opinion, would benefit from a reversal back into this area. And when I think like that and I see reasons that both sides of the trade could agree with one another, that's usually when my A+ setups start to form. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and trail, at least secured 825, and see if we can get that push up. Order. All right, I'm gonna try this one more time. I got stopped out way too soon. I should not have suffocated that play like I did. I actually wasn't paying attention while I was recording, and I was on a smaller candle than I'm used to. So we're gonna try this one more time, see if we can push up into that target of 68.4450. Like I said, I got 800 on that last trade, so I'm gonna risk $337 worth of it to see if we can get an extra 1,000 on this next push up. If we do stall here at 68.4225, I'll just call it a day. But I have no problem re-entering a trade. You know, if I get stopped out, if we pull back, you know, maybe I suffocated it too much, it happens. If I see a bullish reaction and we are making higher lows continuously on these candles, which we did here, we were wicking off, I'll re-enter that trade. There's no problem with re-entering as long as you have strong conviction on where we are going. I will definitely enter on continuation. But the idea is you don't want to suffocate your play too much. And I will admit, I definitely just moved my stop too close. Again, I was paying attention to the wrong candles, and that was my bad. Order filled. All right, I scaled in one more contract just because I am really liking the potential of revisiting this area. And so far, we are holding higher support over 68.36. So I'm risking half of prior profits. Like I said, I made $850 on the last scalp. I did really well this morning off the sell-off. And so usually I will only re-enter a trade if I've got profits to play with. That's a rule that I've got. I usually don't like to enter too far from my KPLs, and again, that was down here, but that was my mistake for suffocating the play earlier and getting stopped out. So I'm going to see if we can get one more leg up. Okay, that's looking much better. Like I said, though, is I really need us to push through this level a little bit further, just wick up. I don't even care if we just wick up. I just think we have potential to hitting 68.4450, so I'm going to leave it there. Let's see how we react at this level. So 68.4225, definite resistance looking left here this morning. So let's see what we do. I think that is something that people have issues with, is if they get stopped out, they will either rush to re-enter or maybe they'll double down. You know, it just sends them into a frenzy. I think as long as you have a strategy of how you re-enter a trade, I am a big fan of moving my stop loss to break even. And sometimes that means I get stopped out too soon. That is a very argumentative thing in the trading world, is moving your stop loss to break even and getting stopped out. Just let it sit there. You know, people have different opinions. I like moving my stop loss to break even when I can. I don't mind re-entering. My strategy allows for it. Usually I can get solid risk versus reward as long as I'm being patient with my re-entries. So I don't have a problem entering a few times just to get the move. Now, sometimes that can bite me in the butt, right? Sometimes you can get some paper cuts. Sometimes they could take off without you and you don't get a re-entry, but it works for me, and since I'm trading on 5 different accounts, I don't need a lot. I am using Tradeify right now, their Project X platform. I absolutely love. If you guys want to sign up with Tradeify, I do have a code. Use the code Peachy. You can check the description box down below for the link. They usually are doing 30% off accounts, but overall, I really love this platform. It's super easy to use. And if you are trading with 5 different prop firm accounts, those definitely add up where you don't need huge wins. Because if I'm making, you know, $1,000 in one trade times 5, that's $5,000. We got about 20 seconds until this candle prints. So I don't like the selling pressure so far, but it's always really important to let the candle print. Okay. I'm gonna go break even. If there's continued sellers again, I'm just gonna hit the close button. But if we can push over it, I'll wait it out and see if my target can hit.
order filled.
There we go. Patience was worth it. All right, secured another 1,400 on top of the 800. Then we did well this morning. It was a really, really good day. But overall, just one more time while I was looking long, we had a KPL near this level, saw a bullish reaction, time of day was in alignment for me. And then from that larger point of view, in my head, I'm like, sellers would definitely benefit if we retrace so they could get a better entry. And so I thought both were in alignment to see a potential long back to this area, and overall, very, very nice scalp up. I did suffocate it, but I took that re-entry and I got a nice second leg up there. So don't be scared to re-enter. You know, like I said, everyone has their way of doing things. Some people don't like moving their stop, but if you are somebody who is moving their stop and protecting your plays, being more aggressive there, then make sure you've got a comfortable way to re-enter that play. Not chasing, not FOMO based, but a strategic way to re-enter. And that's exactly what I did based on my trading plan and got that nice second leg up. And that's a wrap, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I try my best to post as much free content on YouTube as possible. But with me being a new mom, I still am into flipping houses, real estate. I've got other business ventures and my own trading, which I don't do as much of anymore. I will admit that. I have scaled back quite a lot on my own trading. I am down to about 2 to 3 trades per week sometimes. I'm not trading every single day. I also am doing more swing trading. And so with that being said, I made sure to hire an entire team. I have taught people my strategy A to Z. We have coaches in the Peachy Investor Trading School. We do weekly trade recaps. They post daily trade ideas. We do daily market analysis, and we also just added in live study sessions. So the coaches are up there, you can ask them questions, and then after you review all of the courses which are provided in the Peachy Trading School, you can then jump on those live sessions and get extra feedback. We've got so much in Discord when it comes to making you an independent trader. You can post your trades to get better feedback on your entries and exits. You know, why do you keep getting stopped out? Why do you feel like you keep losing trades? We've got a psychology portion. So much is packed in that Peachy Trading School. And like I said, I have hired analysts and coaches to come in there every single day and provide a ton of value, market analysis, feedback, premium support, and education. So if you guys want that, you also want to understand how we find our KPLs, and we also provide these KPLs and pivot points for you in our market analysis and trade ideas every single day when there is a setup, then go down to the description box down below, click the link, and you will see Peachy Trading School. That is going to be everything from options, stocks, and futures. If you are just interested in swing trading options and stocks, we do have a lower tier for that. That would be Peachy Investor School. And also you can go and see hundreds of different reviews that are verified from students of ours. So can't fake those. And last but not least, I know you guys have already seen earlier in this video. However, I am now teaming up with Tradeify for our preferred prop firm. And I'm super excited to introduce them to you guys. If you are new to them, I absolutely love them. That's who I was using in this video, Project X platform with Tradeify. It's a very easy and beginner friendly platform. Tradeify as a prop firm is phenomenal. I really love the fact that you have multiple options from skipping the eval process to going straight to funded if you are ready for that. And so if the evals are just a pain in your butt, there is that option. They have 1 day to pass and no activation fees if you look at the growth options. And they usually are offering about 30% off on sales. And you can use code Peachy to get that 30% off. And check in the description box down below. I'll link their website for you guys, for you to go check them out. And that is all for today. I will see you guys next time.